All right, hello everyone, and welcome to this new live stream. Sorry, I was facing some technical issues, it seems, in the beginning. So, hello for you all, and welcome to this new live stream. Very excited to see you all today. So, while we wait for some of you to join, let me reintroduce myself as always. So, my name is Hamza, and I will be your host today for this new live stream. As always, Saturday it's a grammar live stream. All right, so we will see what the topic will be for today. Let's see who is joining us today. I already see Amin from Morocco, so hello for you, Amin, in the chat, and welcome to the live stream. I hope you are still there, watching and waiting for us to start. Sorry for the delay. I just faced some issues with my streaming platform. So sorry for that. Let me just pick up my slides so that I can show you what we'll be talking about today. So for those of you probably who were with us for the last couple of weeks, they will know that last 2 Saturdays, we decided to start a series of videos where we will talk about uh, tenses. All right, tenses is one of the most important uh, uh, parts or aspects of the grammar of any language. So uh, we will continue what we started last 2 weeks. So last week we talked about the present simple. Today we will talk about a new tense, which will be the past simple. Right. So before I start, me as always ask you guys to share with me your name and the country. So what is your name? What is the country you are joining us from? So for me, for example, my name is Hamza. I am joining you, or I am streaming from Morocco, North Africa, right? Northwest Africa, actually. So that's where I'm streaming from. So what about you guys? Where are you joining this live stream? Let me know in the chat, and don't hesitate to interact with us throughout the session. Maybe ask questions if you have questions. Don't hesitate, and of course don't be shy, and don't hesitate to use the language you are learning. um, Whatever your level is, you are always welcome on our channel. And speaking about the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well if you haven't yet. And we wait for some more people to join, and we will delve into the topic of today. So, as I said, today we'll be talking about the past simple, a very important, actually, very important tense, one of the main tenses of the English language. You will see this tense a lot. You will need this tense a lot. So, please stay tuned and stay with us throughout this live stream. All right, RC already. Artyom has joined us as always. So Artyom, hello for you, and welcome to the live stream. I really like that you are always there whenever we stream. You are always there. You are always participating. Always eager to learn some new things, and this is actually a wonderful thing to have. So welcome, Artyom, and I hope you will learn with us a lot today. Do we have some more, or some new members, or some new viewers here at the live stream? So let us know in the chat. Introduce yourself to me. Say hi, say hello in the chat before we start the live stream. So we'll start in a couple of seconds, just so that everything is. I think we can start. All right, so let's probably start the session. So let me go to the corner here. And yes, so as I said, all right, great. Free. It's the weekend, Artyom. So I'm glad that you don't have any work today. So very happy that you are free today. This is the weekend. Enjoy your weekend. And the best thing that you did is that you joined us on the live stream, which is very exciting thing to have. Same for all of you who are joining the live stream. So today we'll be continuing our session about, or our series of sessions about tenses in English. And today we'll be talking about the past simple. Last two live streams were about the present simple. You will find them on our YouTube channel. So you'll find all our previous live streams. You can watch them while you are probably having your morning coffee or maybe drinking a beer or whatever you are doing. You can enjoy our live streams in the background. So I see Dora. Hello, Dora from Colombia. Good afternoon for you. I'm not sure what time it is in Colombia, but here in Morocco, it is the afternoon. So good afternoon to you from Morocco, and welcome to the live stream. So I think we can start our live stream and our session. And the first thing that I want to start with for the past simple is to start with a few sentences. All right. So we will start with three sentences to be exact. So we'll start with three sentences, and from these three sentences, we will extract or we will find everything that we have to know or that you have to know about the past simple. All right. So it's the morning in Colombia. All right. So I see a lot of letters. Words more, more understand. We like to listen to the best speech. First of all, thank you. All right, wonderful, great. G something. All right, thank you so much. All right. So I have Emery. I didn't see your message, Emery. You're joining us from Turkey. I think it's already evening in Turkey. So welcome. Dora, it's 9 a.m. Fantastic. I really like how there are all the time zones here on this live stream. So for me, I'm streaming in the afternoon. Dora is joining us from the morning. And I believe Artyom and Emery are joining us from the evening. So it's different parts of the day, but the same great activity. Jesus Oliver from Spain. So, Oliver, hello to you and welcome to the live stream. And we hope you will learn something. We are neighbors. I'm from Morocco. You are from Spain. Very close. Great. Okay, so as I said, we will start with a couple of sentences, and from there we will go to discover what is the past simple all about after all. What is the past simple about? What do we use it to talk about? You have three sentences there, so please read them and tell me, when do these actions happen? What is the time that these actions happen at? So I will read for you the sentences. All right. Hello, Fisher. What's up with you? I'm very good. I really like the Halloween spirit in the chat. So welcome, Fisher. And I remember your name is Jane. I remember you joining us from Germany. I do remember a lot about you guys. So welcome to the live stream, and very excited actually that you guys are joining us. All right. So as I was saying, so let's say so. Again, I will read for you the sentences. I want you to tell me what is the time that these sentences happen at. Okay, each sentence. So first one. Yes, I know you. That's you, Jan. All right. So I visited the history museum. So museum is when we put old things. All right, when we put old things, old clothes. No, I remember you are Jan, not Jack. So I visited the history with an N. I visited the history museum last weekend. Sam watched a very nice movie yesterday. Sam watched a very nice movie yesterday. The national football team played a very nice match 2 days ago. So, three sentences. Uh, let's start with the time. So, what is the time for each one of these sentences? At what time do they happen? Let me know in the chat. With time, Jan, actually, that happens in the past. Great. So Amin said that, or says that we use the past simple for actions in the past, and I completely agree with you, Amin. Absolutely, we use the past simple to talk about actions in the past. But in English, we will see this in the next live streams. English has a lot of past tenses, right? It has a lot of past tenses. For example, there is the present perfect, believe it or not. The present perfect, it's about the past. The past continuous, the past simple, the past perfect. All right, the past perfect continuous. So all of these tenses talk about the past. So we need to understand today how is the past simple different from all of the other tenses. All right. So of course it talks about, you are absolutely correct. It talks about past actions, but what type of past actions? And this is what we are going to see today, right? So I see Maria from Russia. Thank you so much, and we really appreciate your comment, and we really appreciate having you with us today. So thank you so much. So can you guys tell me what is the time for each one of these activities? Type it in the chat. Tell me what is the time. Uh, it's in the sentences actually, so that we can take it from there. All right. So we start from the Jan. My pleasure. My absolute pleasure. Dora, hello, hello. So Dora, I see that you. Okay, so today I wake up with my dog, or yesterday. Great. So Dora, please keep this sentence because we will change some things in it. You are absolutely correct. Yesterday, fantastic. It's the past, but we need to change something about it. So keep this sentence in mind, and maybe share it later also, all right, so that we can correct it after you learn the different forms of the past. So I'm still waiting for my time. Where is the time in these sentences? So can you guys let me know what is the tense, or what is the time? The past simple is not the time, it's the tense, all right? So with time, I mean, for example, like Dora here said, yesterday. Yesterday is the time, all right? So what about these sentences? What is the time where these actions happen? Great, Fisher. I'm doing very, very well, actually. I'm doing very well, Jen. Let me use your name. So I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. Very excited that you are here for that. Okay, so Artyom says all of these actions happen in the past, and I agree with you, Artyom. So, but when exactly do they happen? When exactly? All right, Amin now gave us a very beautiful answer. So last week, or last weekend, actually, yesterday, and 2 days ago. And this is absolutely the times where these actions happen. So these are time expressions that we use with the past simple. So all of these actions, of course, happen in the past. When exactly? Last weekend, yesterday, and 2 days ago. All right. So this is the first thing that we should know about the past is when do we use it? All right. Okay, so this is my question. So I visited the History Museum last weekend. My question, do I visit it regularly, like we saw last week, or this is something that I did one time in the past? What do you think? Same thing for the next one. Sam watched a very nice movie. So, what kind of actions are we describing? Are they routine? Are they past actions? Are they future actions? What type of actions are we describing? So great. So for the time expressions, Amin got them correctly. So it's last weekend, yesterday, and 2 days ago. So what do they convey? What do they mean? Once. Great. Absolutely, Amin. So Amin says it's once. Let me probably help you. Let me probably help you. So if we want to compare, thank you. My pleasure to help you with your English, Jen. I'm actually hoping that you guys benefit from what I share with you. So, can we compare these two sentences? Always and yesterday. Always, yesterday. So, what can we notice? Sophia, hello, hello, and welcome to the live stream again. So, Sophia, we have just started. Actually, you came at the right time. So, we have just started. We're talking about the past simple, all right? And the first thing that we did, so for everybody, not just Sophia, but for everybody who has just joined, this is one episode or one session in a series of live streams about tenses in English. Last 2 weeks, we talked about the present simple. You will find it on the channel. But today we are talking about the past simple. And we are discovering the past simple through these three sentences, right? Okay, great. And yesterday is in the past. Amin is doing fantastic job today. True stories is that's awesome. Great. Okay. So absolutely, this is the answer. So always is it's a habit or a routine. All right. So it's a habit or a routine. But when we say yesterday, this is something that happened in the past. It finished in the past. All right. Yesterday, I played football. This means that I don't play it always. I played it yesterday, and the action is finished right now. All right. And this is a very important thing that the action finished in the past. Sukram, my man, hello to you. How are you doing? I hope you everything is doing great with you. And welcome to the live stream. And let me remind you, like everybody else who has just joined, today we're talking about the past simple. Okay, fantastic. So, my question now: when do we use the past simple? So, when, from what you guys know, when do we use the past simple? So when do we use? So if I'm speaking, when should I or when shall I use the past simple? So if you remember last time, for example, we said that we use the present simple to talk about habits or routine actions, right? Habits or routine actions. So when do we use the past simple? Does anyone know when we use the past simple? For storytelling. And you are absolutely right, Sokram, actually, because one of the uses of the past simple is when we tell stories. If you go back to all of our stories on WooEnglish, you will find that all of the stories make use or use the past simple. And this is a very, very important thing. For one action in the past, great. So for an action in the past, talk about information, about actions and information and the past. Absolutely, Amin. And finally, Halim, hello, my man. Halim, when an action finished. Great. So absolutely, this is exactly it. So the main use, actually, there are a lot of uses for the past simple. Like Sokram said, for example, we use it when we tell a story. But the main use, the most important use of the past simple is to talk about actions that started and, very importantly, finished in the past. If the action started in the past but is still happening right now, we use a completely different tense, actually. All right, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. For instance, this is my example to you. So, I have been teaching English for 5 years, right? Actually, a little bit more, but I have been teaching English for 5 years. When did I start? I started in the past. But did I finish? Did this action of me teaching English finish? Absolutely not. I'm still teaching English right now. All right. So this means that the action started in the past, but didn't finish. And this is a different tense that we will see in later sessions. All right. We will see it in future live streams. So the first thing that I want you guys to remember is there are cases, and this is Amin says hi. All right, so this is what I told you, Amin, earlier. There are actions that happen in the past, but we don't use the past simple always. All right, we only use the past simple. So let me repeat it again. We only use the past simple when an action started in the past and finished in the past, or also for short actions in the past, something that happened very quickly in the past. All right. So we use the past simple to talk about actions that started and finished in the past. Lily, hello for you and welcome to the live stream. So I was saying the past simple is used for past actions that started and finished in the past. Now, what are the time expressions that we should see or that we should use with the past simple? Again, let me give you another example. Shafi, hello, hello. Very, very good. I'm seeing new faces today. I'm also seeing old faces, people that have been with us since we started live streaming. So I'm very excited to see you all. So always, um, okay. So, for example, when we see the time expression always, this means that we should use the present simple with it. Okay? So the present simple, we use it with expressions like always. My question to you now is what are the time expressions that we use with the past simple? We already saw three actually, if you remember them from the previous examples. Great. We are having more and more people joining us. I'm very excited actually. So maybe let me just remind. So while you guys think about some expressions, time expressions to be specific, time expressions that we use with the past simple, let me maybe remind people who have just joined us that this is a new live stream on WooEnglish, and today is Saturday, so this means that this is a grammar live stream. We are talking today about the past simple. This is one of many sessions that we will have about English tenses, and I see that all that answers have already started pouring in. So we said that we use the first thing that we said today that we agree that we should agree on. We use the past simple with actions that started and finished. It's important that the action finished in the past, all right? So that we can be able to use the past or the past simple. My second question was what are the time expressions that we use? I already see some time expressions in the chat. Fantastic job, guys. All right. So last night. Great. So we say yesterday or we say last night. 2 days ago. I mean, great. Year, week, month, or decade, Sakura. But Sakura, actually, you need to add something. You need to add something to these things. For example, if I say year, I can say next year. That's not the past, that's the future, actually. All right. So Artyom says yesterday, and Halim said I finished my work last Wednesday. Absolutely. So last plus something. Since. Great, Dora, but since actually we use with something else. So 1 minute ago, I really like this. 1 minute ago, yeah, of course. 1 second ago is the past Sukram. So I completely agree. Last week, last year, Lily. Great. Okay, so let me share with you some of the expressions that we use with the past simple. Yes, so this is my question. So what are the time expressions we use with the past? The first one, I will start with what Artyom said, which is the most common expression you will see with the past simple. If you see Lily, in the morning, absolutely. Especially if you are in the afternoon or in the evening. So you say in the morning, meaning this is the past already. Okay, so the first one, of course, is yesterday. Yesterday is the most commonly used past expression, all right, or expression or time expressions for the past. So yesterday. The next one or the next expression that we can use is great. This is what I mean. Yes, Sakura, absolutely. So Sakura is last summer. Great. I see last weekend, last year. I see last Wednesday, for example, last night. Great. And that's actually the second expression for the past simple, which is last plus past time. Again, last plus past time. For example, I can see last week, or last weekend, or last year, or last Christmas, or last summer, last winter, last Wednesday. All right. So last plus a time in the past, all right, or a time unit. So last plus a time unit. Exactly. Last century. Very good. Last century. A century is 100 years. So century is 100 years. Century equals 100 years. Yes. So in the last century, meaning the 20th century. Or last summer. So century equals 100 years. Great. So the first expression yesterday. The second expression is last plus time. Last plus time. All right. Great. Awesome. So the next expression is it's the reverse actually. So it's the time expression plus a goal. It's the time expression plus a goal. For example, I think I saw this with Amin, if I'm not mistaken. Exactly, it was with Amin. So Amin introduced that 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, right? So I can say a week ago, 2 days ago, years ago, 2 centuries ago, all right, or 2 Wednesdays ago. So a time expression plus a goal. Let me repeat them again. So we said that there are a lot of expressions of time expressions that we should use with the past simple when we talk about the past simple, right? Something that happened, started, and finished in the past. It finished, by the way. So this is very important. The action is no longer happening right now. These time expressions include the very famous yesterday. So, yesterday, this is something that we all know. The second one is last plus a time expression. So, for example, I can say last week, last weekend, last Wednesday, last Christmas, last year, last century, etc., etc. The next expression is time plus ago. All right. So, we start with the time. So, I can say 2 weeks ago, I visited the museum. 2 weeks ago. Or 1 month ago, I ordered this phone, all right? Or I ordered the new phone, or whatever you did 1 month ago. The last expression that I want to share with you is in plus time in the past. In plus time in the past. All right. So, for example, I can say in 2020. Of course, yes, exactly. Sakura, you said it on the right time. I was just starting to talk about it. I just started to talk about it when you said it. We can tell in 1997. Absolutely, we can. That's the last type or the last category of time expressions that we use with the past simple, which is in plus a year, especially years, all right? Especially years. So I say in 2020 or in 2020, in 1965. In my childhood, I am an adult right now. I'm no longer a child. Childhood is the period of time where you are or when you are a child. So I'm no longer a child, so I can say in my childhood. Okay, so we talked about two things so far. We talked about the past simple. So when do we use it? We said we use it for actions that started and finished in the past. The action is no longer happening. When I say, when I say, I played a football match 2 weeks ago. I played a football match 2 weeks ago. This means that the action is no longer happening. It finished. Okay, when we finished the match. Great. The second thing we talked about is the time expressions that we use with the past simple. All right, and we said the time expressions can be divided into four. We can say yesterday. All right, we can say last plus time in the past. We can say time in the past plus ago, so 2 years ago, 2 weeks ago, and finally we can say in plus a year in the past. In 2020. 2020 is already past. How strange is that? How strange that 2020 is already the past. I've already looked at it as if it's the future. So it's very difficult to grasp that it's already in the past. Great. Now, all right. Now what we are going to do. So we talked about the when we use it, we talked about the time expressions. Now how do we put a verb in the past simple? So let's start by finding the verbs here. What are the verbs that we have in these sentences? What are the verbs that we used? So there are three sentences meaning three verbs. So what are these three verbs that we have in these sentences? Let me know. Let me know. All right, so let's say, all right, we have visited Artem. Thank you, Sakura. Same thing. So visited. What is the second one? So the first one is visited, watched. Absolutely. So the second one is watched, and the third one is great. Sakura and Artem. I really like the interaction going on there. And finally, played. Great. All right, played. Okay, great. So absolutely, we have three verbs. So if I ask you guys, how do we form from these three sentences, from these three verbs that we have here? Great, Sakura, thank you so much. So from these three verbs that we have on the screen, how do we form the past simple? From these three verbs, just if you see, look at these three verbs, what is the rule for the past simple? Hello, or hello, DXN Dream Team. Hello for you. And welcome to this live stream with us. So while you guys are trying to find for me the how we put the verb in the past simple, let me probably just remind everyone here of what we are talking about today. Today is Saturday. Every Saturday we are having a live stream, and our Saturday live streams are about uh, 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 grammar. All right, so they are about grammar. So we are having a series of live streams about tenses in English. We talked the last past great. So we talked the last past streams about the present simple, and today we're talking about the past simple. The past simple is a very important tense in the English language, actually. And since our channel is all about telling stories, we use the past simple to tell stories. Actually, all stories are told in the past. Most of them, if not all. Great. So Artem already gave us the rule for the past simple, or the main rule for the past simple, which is that we add ed to the verb. Let's say. So how do we form the past simple? The past simple, or we form the past simple by adding an ed. Let me say, hello, Akli, hello for you, and very very excited that you joined us. Uh, um, we form the past simple by adding ed to the end of the verb. So for any verb that we can put in the past by adding ed, we call these type of verbs regular verbs. All right, regular verbs. All right. So we have a quick example here, or a quick exercise. So let me just change my. Oops. Okay. So okay. Great, Shafi. Oh, absolutely. So verb plus ed. So let us practice this very basic rule. And by the way, this is not all the rules of English. This is the main one. Great, DXN team. Absolutely. So she worked. Fantastic. All right. Brushed. Great. Dora, fantastic. But I think this is something that you gave us. So thank you for that. Played. All right. So let's go one by one. Let's go one by one. All right. Cooked. Great. I already see a lot of answers going on in the chat, so you guys are doing fantastic. So I have worked, played, brushed, studied. Pay attention to this one. Played. So you just need to pay attention to the play, actually. We'll see. We'll see this in a moment. Worked. Yes. And cooked. Okay. All right. Cooked. Traveled. Artyom. Fantastic job. So traveled. Where is traveled? Traveled. Okay. Cooked. Studied. Studied and studied. All right. Walked. Fantastic job. So you guys already got the first rule. So did or really who died? Sheffy, who died? Did someone die? I hope not. All right. Walked. Great Artyom. Fantastic job. So Lily, DXN team, Akli, Dora, Sakura. Thank you so much, guys. You guys did a wonderful job. All right, but so basically, all right. Let me see where I put the answer for this one. I'm not sure. Oh, interesting. Interesting. All right. So I think we can just go with them because I probably I forgot to include the answers here on this slide. But I will write them for you in the chat. So I said the first one is worked. All right. So very simply we apply the rule that we have just seen. So the first one is work. The second one is played. Number three is studied, and we will come back to this one. Number four is cooked. Sorry, number four. Number four is cooked. Number five is traveled, and number six is walked. So let me share with you the answers very quickly. Sorry, I forgot to mention them in the or to include them in my slide. I don't know how that happened. So number one, it's worked. Very simply, we add ed. Number two, played. Again, very simply, we add ed. But when we come to number three, it's studied, but we changed something in the verb. Okay, so who can explain to me why? Uh, all right, what disappeared? So can you please explain to me why we said play became uh, played, but study became studied? So why did that happen, or how did that happen? So can someone explain to me why, when we say play, we simply add ed? So we simply applied the rule that we said. So play, played, we added ed. But when we arrive to study, it's also a regular verb, meaning that we should simply add ed. But we changed something. We changed the y. Where is the y? All right. So the y is no longer there. So why did that happen? Oh, okay. So sorry for that, Artyom. So I will share them again. So Sakura said it's because of the y. But Sakura, if you notice, both words play and study, both of them have y in the end. So why did that happen? Okay, so Akli said we changed y into id, but again, Akli, if you go back to play, we didn't change the y. It's right there. All right, it's right there. We kept it. So we said played. So we didn't change anything. So why did that happen? So why did that happen? Very interesting. So we have two verbs. Both of them are regular verbs, meaning we should just add ed to their end. But the problem here is that one of them we added ed, but the other one we added ied. Well, it's not an irregular verb because since we add ed, it's not irregular, right? Since it is, we simply add ed, it's not a regular verb. All right, because we have study. Can you explain some more? You are already there, Artyom. So if you can explain it a little bit more. It's not an irregular verb, Shafi, because very simply, when we have a verb where we add ed, that's no longer an irregular verb. That's a regular verb because there is the ed, it respects the rule. There is just a tiny change in the spelling, the way we write the verb. In one, we keep the verb intact, we don't touch it, we just add ed. In the second type, we should change the y, but we add the ed, all right? Meaning this, it's still a regular verb. The answer, by the way, let me help you. The answer is what comes before the y, all right? What comes before the y? So pay attention to what comes before the Y in play and study. So let me reshare my question again. So play and study, let me say this again very, very clearly. Both of them are regular verbs. So meaning they follow the rule of adding ed to their end. So we add ed in the past. But one of them, we keep the verb like it is. But for the second one, we change the Y into I. Why did that happen? Gishia Sanchez. Absolutely. It's the past because we are talking about the past tense indeed. Okay, I will explain to you the rule. I will explain to you the rule. So very simply, if there is a vowel plus y, meanings we keep the y and we add ed. All right. So or okay, great. Okay, great, Lily. You got it. You got it. Yes. So very simply, when we have a vowel before the y, we keep the y. All right. So play a is a vowel, so we keep the y. But if we have a consonant, for example, in study, so consonant plus y, this means that we remove the y, we add ied. This is very simply the rule. It's a very basic, it's very simple rule actually. So if you have a consonant before y, we should remove the y and add ied. So let me give you uh, um, examples in the chat. So, for example, let's go to enjoy. What is the past of enjoy? And it is a regular verb, by the way. So we add ed. So what is the past of enjoy? How are we gonna write it? Enjoy. So what is the past of enjoy? I hope it's clear for you, Lily. So what is the past form of enjoy, in your opinion? Fantastic job, Artyom, and I really like that you highlighted the O. That's the vowel. Fantastic job. So it's enjoyed, right? So enjoyed. Same, Ackley. Wonderful job. Enjoyed. Lily, enjoyed. Shafi, but Dora, absolutely not. So Dora, since we have a vowel, it's there is an O. I will share Artyom's example or Artyom's answer. So it's O plus Y plus Y. So this means that we keep the Y and add IED. DXN, absolutely wonderful job. Great. Now, what about this verb? Okay, so we said enjoy, we simply add ed. What about this verb? What about cry? It's again a regular verb, so what is the past form of it? How are we gonna form the past simple of cry? Indeed, Artyom, it is a regular verb, or the xn, it is a regular verb. Great, great. Okay, great, fantastic job. So Sanchez cried, the xn cried Sakura. Wonderful, great. So very simply, this is it. So because cry, if you notice, there is an R before Y, which is and R is a consonant. So when we have a consonant before the Y, we should remove the Y, and we should add IED instead of simply ED. All right, right, right. All right, great, Shafi, fantastic job. Cried Amin, fantastic job, guys. Okay, okay. So let us go through what we saw so far. So until now, we said that The past simple. So we talked about three things. Three things, right? Three things. The first thing is that when do we use the past simple? We said we use the past simple when we talk about something that started in the past and finished in the past. All right? It started in the past, it finished in the past. Number two, or point number two, we use the past simple with expressions like yesterday, last week, last weekend, last year, last month, last Wednesday, 2 years ago, 2 days ago, etc., etc. So we saw the expressions with which we use the past simple. The third point that we talked about was how do we form the past simple? And the first rule that we saw is we simply add ed. So walk becomes walked, visit becomes visited, cry becomes cried. Exactly, I mean, ago. So cry becomes cried, watch becomes watched. All right? Now, the most important part of the past simple is this. So I have three more sentences for you, and I want you guys to put them in the past simple. She go to the movies last weekend. Notice last weekend. So this means the past simple. I read an interesting article yesterday. I read an interesting article yesterday. I see that people are already answering in the chat, which is great. Which is great. So you guys, all right. He write a short story over the last weekend. He wrote a short story over the last weekend. Great. So let me see what you guys are suggesting in the chat. So I will start with DXN. So she says went, or he says went. Went. So this is number one. Same thing for Amin, went, and the same for Artyom, it's went. And I completely agree with you. So go, the past of go is went. Number two, DXN writes red, uh, as in the color. This is red. This is red, right? This is the color red. This pen is red, right? This is a red pen. It's fine. All right. So pen. We'll see. We'll see. Red. So okay. I mean, great. It's like red. Fantastic job. I mean, you got it correct. Um, red Artium. Read with double E. Red DXN. Right. It's fine. All right. So it was just a mistake. All right. I understand. I understand. And the last one is write. So wrote. Sakura wrote, and okay, great, great. Okay, so I think you guys are doing a fantastic job. Great. I mean, same answer, wrote, and same for Artium, wrote. Okay, so I will share with you the answers. So absolutely went. And number two, it's red, and number four, it's or number three, it's wrote. So these are the answers for this. Indeed, the X and absolutely. Absolutely. So we say go, the past of go is went. So I can say, yesterday I went to the supermarket. Yesterday I went to the supermarket. Number two, read. Read, like Amin said, like Artyom said, like Sakura said, like DXN said. Uh, these are this verb doesn't change in the past. We don't change it. So it read, it's read in the past, but we change it in the pronunciation. So I can say, every day I read a book, every day I read a book. But if in the past I can say, yesterday I read. All right. So read in the past, it's pronounced like this color. So it's pronounced red. Right. So yesterday I read a nice article. Number two or number three is wrote. So write in the past, it's wrote. So let me ask you a question. So we said that in the past we add ed to the verb. So why didn't we add ed here? Why didn't we say I go to the movies, or I read an interesting article, or he writed a short story? Why is that? What's the problem? Okay, so what do you think is the problem here? What's wrong with these verbs? Why don't they accept the rule? Why don't they accept the rule? Why didn't you say I write it? Oh, great. Great. I already see the answer. Great. All right, great. So, like Halim said, basically, the only problem with these verbs is that they are not regular verbs, right? They are not regular. These are what we call irregular verbs. Irregular verbs. Some verbs don't follow the ed rule. So some verbs we don't add ed, and we call them irregular verbs. All right, we call them irregular verbs. Okay. So when we simply add ed, we call that verb regular. If that verb changes completely, we call it irregular. So regular verbs, irregular verbs. We have two types. It's an irregular verb, absolutely. Sakura, absolutely. It's irregular verb, right? So irregular verbs, we change them completely. Okay. So let us look at a small exercise or a little exercise uh, for irregular verbs. Okay, let me just fix my screen. Okay, so I have here some commonly used irregular verbs. All right, some commonly used irregular verbs. So if you can do the same thing that you did with the previous exercise for the verbs that would in the past, so I want you to put them in the past simple, and I see that the xn is already writing very fast. All right, great. I really great. Uh, uh, I mean, so I completely agree with you. Actually, irregular verbs are very difficult to memorize. So I'm going to give you both this session and the next session some ways in which you can understand or you can remember the maximum number of irregular verbs. There are ways, actually. There are ways. Great job, guys. All right. So let me go with the chat one by one. So first one go went. Ate, run, art same thing, run, uh, drank, swam, put, went and ate, Lily, I mean, great. Um, wrote, yes, wrote, uh, came, came, drunk, ate, took, great, take, took, begin, began, ran. Fantastic job. I mean, actually, yes, because for run, it's not run. It doesn't stay the same. It's ran with a. Ran. All right, great. All right. Wrote. I see a lot of verbs. Sorry for. All right. So let me answer this question once again. So let me answer this question once again. So we have to save our minds irregular verbs. So I think the xn. I think this is the same thing that Amin said, which is that we have we should, all right, memorize a lot of irregular verbs. We should memorize a lot of irregular verbs because there are a lot of irregular verbs, and it's very difficult to remember all the forms, all the past forms of the irregular verbs. I completely agree with that. I completely understand, guys, your concern, but I have some good news for you. I have some good news for you, which is that actually for the past simple of irregular verbs, we have some ways in which we can memorize, and this is what we are going to see probably starting from next session. So we will start to see what are some ways in which we can memorize the irregular verbs. So let's go to the correction of this verb, so or of this exercise. So she went to the store after work. So, by the way, this is just an introductory session. I just wanted to introduce the past simple because we still need to see more about irregular verbs. We will still need to see the negative form of the past simple and also the interrogative. How can we ask questions in the past simple? And we will see some more some more activities. I completely agree. This is a very, very important way. We should see verbs in sentences. But the problem is, you cannot you cannot use sentences with all the verbs. It will be very difficult to remember every verb and the sentence where you saw it. So let's go first through the verbs that I have here. So she went to the store after work. They ate. So eat becomes ate. So go becomes went, and eat becomes ate. Let me probably go back and forth between these two. So go becomes went, eat becomes ate. All right. What is that, Artyom? I didn't understand this sentence, Artyom, that you just wrote in the chat. Can you please explain to me what is the context? So does she go to? I didn't understand it actually. Is this the question? Is this a question? So she go to the store, went. They eat becomes ate. Run. This is for the XM probably and for our team as well. It's so run becomes ran, right? It becomes ran. It becomes with a. So we change the U into a. Next one, drink becomes drank. Swim becomes swam, and put, it stays the same. So put. Write, wrote. Uh, came or come becomes came, and take becomes took, and begin becomes began. And I completely agree with you guys. It's very difficult to remember all these verbs, but I will give you a hint. I will give you a hint that will help you to remember. We will do this, by the way, next Saturday. We will not do it today because I don't want to confuse you. I don't want to give you a lot of information today. So I just like give you a quick overview about the past simple today. But let me ask you a question. Can you give me the past simple of the verbs that I'm going to write in the chat? All right. Can you give me the past simple of these verbs? So think, fight, seek, teach. Can you give me the past simple of these verbs? Okay, great. I already see the answer by the XN, which is thought. Great. What are the chats? All right, here we are. Thought, great. By the way, seek, probably a lot of you don't know what we mean by this verb. Seek very simply means to search for something, all right? I'm seeking some advice, meaning I'm searching for some advice, right? Or I'm seeking help, meaning I'm searching for some help. I mean, great. All right. Seek, it doesn't stay seek, actually, the XN. Soak, not really. And all right, so Lily, so think, thought, absolutely. So I think now, but yesterday I thought. I mean, thought, fighted, not really. I mean, for fight, not really. And the next one, you don't know it. So maybe let me explain to you the verb first, and for everybody here. So for the verb to seek means to search for something, all right? To look for something, to try to find. So if I say I'm seeking some advice, meaning I'm searching, I need some advice. I see a lot of teached. All right, I teached, and I mean also wrote I teach. All right. So let me give you the verbs, guys. Let me give you the verbs. Okay. So this is basically the verbs. So for the past simple of think, fight, seek, and the teach, this is the past. I can say thought. So think, thought. No, Sakura, it's not seeked, it's thought, right? So thought, Fight becomes fought. Sigh or sight or seek becomes sought, and the think becomes thought. All right. So very simply, these are the forms. My question to you now, my question: did you notice that there is a they all change in the same way? Did you notice that all of them change in the same way? So let me probably write everything here in the chat, and I will share it once again. So I'm just writing the verbs both in the infinitive form and in the past form. So this is it. So thinks becomes thought, fight becomes fought, seek becomes sought, and teach becomes sought or taught. So I can say, for example, if I want to say that I teach yesterday, I will say yesterday I taught. All right. Let me give you an example. Last Wednesday, I taught vocabulary. Today, I'm teaching grammar. Last weekend, I taught. This is teach in the past. Last weekend, I taught vocabulary. Today, I'm teaching grammar. So, my question to you: did you notice that all these verbs, though although they are irregular, they all change in the same way? Okay, all of them change in the same way, and this is the tip, or this is the trick that I'm going to teach you next session. So next session we are going to see the categories of verbs, of irregular verbs, that change in the same way, and this actually makes memorizing irregular verbs a lot easier. Okay, let me give you another example. um okay, so these okay, Al Fatih, thank you so much for becoming a new member. Thank you for the membership purchase. So run. Okay, let me give you another category. So the first category is verbs that change from think thought, teach thought, seek sought, fight fought, catch caught. So all of these verbs change in the same way. So I will give you a second category that has the same that has a similar trend. Okay, um, let me see. Okay. Okay, so I have for you four more verbs. They too change in a similar way to each other. So let's say. So write, speak, break, drive. Give me the past of these verbs and tell me, what do you notice? Yes, I already see correct answers in the chat. Okay, so let's say. Right. So okay, wonderful, great. So I mean, wrote, wrote, spoke, wrote, spoke. I mean, Lily spoke, wrote, broke, great, broke. You know what is broke? When we break something. Um, drove, wrote, spoke, drove, great. So Artyom, great, drove, and Artyom also says broke. So I mean, Lily, DX, and you guys are doing great. Sakura, fantastic job. Drove, absolutely. And Lily as well. You guys got them all correct. So, did you notice also that these verbs also change in the same way? So, this is a second category. So, the first category, think thought, seek thought, fight fought, teach taught. The second category is the verbs that change in the same way: write, wrote, drive, drove, speak, spoke, break, broke. I hope you understand now what I'm talking about. So when we divide irregular verbs into different categories, the XN from Turkey. So very welcome. I'm very happy that you are joining, and your English is fantastic. Actually, all of you guys. I mean, I'm very amazed by Amin's level. Art team has always proven herself very excellent learner. DXN is joining today. Lily, very enthusiastic always, and Sakura as well, always very interactive. And I hope more and more people join. Halim, for example, very uh, 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 very smart. I always like his comments or her comments. I'm not sure if it's all right. Okay, great. So as I said, we can change, or there are irregular verbs that change in the same way, and this helps us to remember them easily. So we will see that in the next live stream, meaning next Saturday. But we still have one more activity, which is this. So what I want you to do. Thank you so much, the XN team. I'm very happy and very flattered by your comment. Okay, so what did you do last weekend? So I want you guys to use what you learned today and yes, share with us what you did last weekend. So what did you do last weekend? Let me probably decrease because this is very bright. It's very orange. All right, and we have Burhanuddin Al Fatih. Thank you so much for being a member. Thank you. Oh, please, Sakura, please, if you have any questions, or for all of you guys, if you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask. You can ask it. I'm here to answer your questions, of course. Please. So, what is your question, Sakura? Please let us know. And anyone who has a question about anything that we saw today, or anything that is even not related to our session today, what is the past of GitHub? Great. Can someone answer Sakura? What is the past of GitHub? I will write it and I will see if anyone will answer this before I do. So GitHub. What is the past of GitHub? Okay, great. So DXN answered your question, Sakura. It's got up. Great. And that's exactly what I wanted to share. So got up. So I can say every day I get up, but yesterday I got up. Burhanuddin, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're always happy to have people like you. And yes, thank you guys for the support. So the question very simply is, what did you do last weekend? And of course, you should practice, you should learn what you learned today about the past simple to answer this question. So share with us some of the activities you did last weekend. Great. Oh, fantastic, Lily. Great job. And you used a new verb, which is have. So in the past, it becomes had. All right. So last weekend, I had a job interview. Last weekend, I had a job interview. And best of luck for you, Lily. I hope that you will hear some good news about the job interview. I mean, last weekend, I did a lot of activities. Great. I mean, verb to do in the past, did. Great. All right, I finished my homework last weekend. Great. All right, so you use two verbs. So uh, last weekend I did, and last weekend I finished. Great. So one is irregular, one is regular. I visited Kuala Lumpur last weekend. Great. How was it? How was it, DXN? How was it? I hope you enjoyed your visit. So visited, it's a regular verb. So absolutely we will add, very simply add ed. So what about the rest of you guys? So what did you do last weekend? Amazing. So for example, for me, last weekend I went on a trip. I traveled. So I went on a trip. So this is what I did last weekend. Okay, Dora, last weekend I rode. Great job. Okay, so ride is another verb that goes into the category of speak, spoke, drive, drove, break, broke. So ride, rode as well. So last weekend, Dora says I rode my bike on the mountains. Shafi, so in the last weekend, I went to shopping mall. Great. I had Sakura. I had a very fantastic summer. Oh, interesting. So Lily gave us a very bad news, but a very beautiful sentence. All right. So she gave us a good sentence. It's a good sentence, but uh, 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 it was very stressed. All right. So that's the verb to be. I ran last weekend. Great, ran. Indeed, Dora. So we can say ride on the mountain. Great. Or we can also say Dora. We can say around the mountain. I watched your stream about the present symbol. Oh, nice, great. So I'm glad that you were there. It was amazing. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed the interaction as well that was happening last weekend. All right. So I joined in Malaysia last week. I joined to a 30th ceremony for my company in Malaysia last weekend. Great. So I hope you had some fun, DXN. Great. I made a lot of mistakes. Okay, so I made. Can someone correct for us the mistake that Sakura did here? Sakura, you made another mistake, by the way, in the example. But it's fine. It is actually through making mistakes that we learn. And by the way, while you guys are trying to find the little mistake, the tiny mistake, it's a very simple mistake actually. Don't forget that we have resumed again uploading the stories and the PDFs on our YouTube channel, and it's as always it's free. All right, it's free. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet. Please do subscribe, like this video, and please do go enjoy the all the stories about different people, different stories that we have on our YouTube channel. So don't forget to do that, please. And yes, so this is absolutely the correct form of the verb make, Sakura, which is made. All right, so made. So we don't say I make, but we say I made. I had a big book. Is it past simple? Of course, depending on what you mean, but the use of the past simple it's correct. So have it's had. All right. So you are correct, Artyom, for the form. All right. Let me see, Dora. So last weekend I went to Palmas on my bike. Of course, yes. So verb to go in the past. All right. So I will just. I think that's it for today's session. I don't want to bombard you with a lot of information. I want to keep things simple. We will go step by step. So today we talked about when we can use. So let us maybe revise together what we saw today. We saw when do we use the past simple. We said that the most important use of the past simple is with actions that started in the past and finished in the past. It's finished, it's done. Again, when I say I watched a movie, I don't watch it anymore. It's done, it's over, it's finished. Okay. Another use actually of the past simple is with stories. And a kind reminder, this is what we do in our YouTube channel. So you can go, you can enjoy some short stories or some stories on our channel. There is a PDF included as well. And also you will see a lot of usage of the past simple so that you can remember all the verbs and all their forms in the past simple. The second thing we talked about some expressions that we use with the past simple. And finally, we saw the two forms of verbs In the past simple, we talked about the irregular verbs where we add ed, and we talked about irregular verbs that change completely. Next session, we will see more about irregular verbs. We will see the categories of irregular verbs. We will see how we can use the negative in the past simple and how we can use the question form. So thank you so much. And before you go, please don't like to subscribe, as I said, if you haven't yet. Please don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and please don't forget to visit my personal YouTube channel. So you will find it in the description of this video. So you will find my personal YouTube channel. Visit me there. I'm uploading some videos. So please don't forget that. Halim, thank you so much. DXN, Sakura, Amin, and Artyom, and Dora, you guys. There are a lot of beautiful people that are always here, always interacting on my live streams. You make the live streams enjoyable. I really enjoy them. I'm always looking forward to them. And by the way, our next live stream will be on Wednesday. So next Wednesday, you will find it in the description. The XN. You will find it in the description. It's very simply called. It's I use my name. So this is it, right? Or maybe let me share with you my the. I will share with you the link in the chat here, but you can find it also in the description, so it's easier for you. So find it. Okay, so this is my personal YouTube channel. I will share it in the chat. Maybe you want to pay me a visit there, please do. And thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for joining us. So see you on Wednesday. Great. All right.